introduce you to these SDGs and Sustainable Development Goals. As you can see, everywhere we talk about this sustainability, and we also develop various curriculum and for students that how they can affect the industry as a whole. So what Industry 4 can do for SDGs? How Industry 4 affects the achievement of Sustainable Development Goals to have a better economic society, and how they both impact the higher education sector. And as I said before, I'll be talking about the accounting profession as a whole. Let's talk about them. I don't want to show you that talk about every item on there, because you are already familiar with those United Nations 2030 agenda. We have 17 sustainable development goals, and they all have influence on the economic and society. Okay. The whole idea of sustainable development goal is to have a better economic society. This is the key outcome that as you know that one of the SDGs is the education. So education for everyone, and it's a dream for us that we don't have any poor people anymore in the near future. So we all have developed countries. So we don't have any least developed emerging countries, you know. So that's the dream. So I think it's I'm not sure whether we can achieve that goal in 100%, but we should be trying our best to have reasonable kind of achievements in those sustainable development goals. Let me talk about this thing about the various development goals that, as I said, number 4 is the quality educations. Why we need quality educations? That's really important. It's not about quantity, how many students we produce a particular year. It's not about how many students we have enrolled. It's all about how many students can be graduated with a quality education. Quality education means that it has impact on the economic society. The students can contribute to a better economic society. The next slide. Okay, this is the declarations we had in a forum in 2015 that the countries when they get together and then committed to this kind of environment. Okay, we have this by 2030. By 2030, we have no poor people anymore.
It's close.
It's close. Yes. It's not far. But I'm very positive that because we never thought about, say, cloud computing. Because nowadays we don't carry any USB drive. We don't carry any PowerPoint presentation because everything's on now cloud, isn't it? And to think about even 2-3 years ago, in a computer we have a hard drive. You don't need any hard drive anymore. So you can work out with anyone on cloud drive. And university has a also drive and all kind of things. So I think you never know, by 2030 maybe we'll have at least something and to celebrate that we achieved some goals of the SDGs. Okay, next slide. Okay, let's think about how we can relate Industry Revolution 4 and SDGs. That our Honorable Minister also talked about the digitalization and disruption technology. And as you can see, they're highly correlated, because Industry Revolution 4 talk about technology, talk about big data, computer, and they're really very important for everyone to communicate together. That how automations, how digital technology can influence most of the sustainable development goals, and also discuss about the quality education. I'll talk about this in a moment. So who's going to run the timing? So how much time we have? Thank you. Thank you. So what I said that, and I found this study done by United Nations Industrial Development Organizations, and so the key idea of that study was, okay, how Industry 4 can have influence or impact on the better economic society. So the statement they make that Industry 4 has the potential to produce innovative solutions to global issues. Global issues is the better economic society, and then that's the important message for us. So sustainable development's goals have very highly related to Industry Revolution 4, because we talk about energy savings, we talk about economic better economic society, and we talk about information and communication technology. So what this study found that we need to have some kind of enhanced information. And I said before that it's not about having enough information, it's about how we can use this information. I think it's the, someone already mentioned about that information overload. So we need to be very careful how much information we produce, and who is going to use those informations. And we need to produce people who can understand cloud computing, so people understand how to use information for the better economic society. And the study also has some recommendations, for example, that countries should provide a suitable framework for conditions for innovation while protecting existing standards. I think we have disruption technology, isn't it? So I think it's very important that when you have innovation, it affects the current environment. So how we can maintain current environment in a way that it doesn't have huge impact on the current or existing systems and processes. So that's really important. And also governments, I think I'm very glad to hear that Indonesian government has very responsive to the changing environment and how we can have a better economic society. I think in most countries nowadays, they realize that I think it is government who can drive this society a better environment. So government should have more adapting policies that, okay, Western countries or developed countries have this kind of development. I think developing countries should also think about this, how we can be adaptive. It's not about, okay, I don't care about any other society, I care about my country. No, that's not the case anymore, isn't it? We are living in a global society. We all talk about global reforms.